All right, so let me talk to you about the relationship between the idea of defining deviance as it relates to someone's culture. Now, I've already mentioned to you before, at least I hope so, that I'm black and Japanese. My father's African American, my mother is Japanese, and things that got me in trouble as I was coming up because I was raised primarily by my Japanese mom. Things that got me in trouble culturally uh, when I was interacting with people from the United States versus things that didn't get me in trouble with when I was interacting with my mother. So think about this. In Japanese culture, you're not supposed to look at an authority figure straight in their eyes. In Japanese culture, that's seen as a challenge and that is rude and disrespectful. Okay. In the United States, if you don't look at authority figures in their eyes, people think that you're lying or that you're trying to get out of something or that you're trying to, make up something on the fly or something like that. I got caught on that one all the time. Another one is taking off your shoes before getting into the house. Now, in my household, Japanese household, there's a lot of people who do this rule, but in Japanese culture, this is like a standard, right? In the United States, it's not a standard. In Japanese culture, it is a standard. Take your shoes off before you get into someone's house because they don't want you trudging all the mud and all the dirty stuff into their house. They want to keep things clean. In the United States, what I found out is that one, it's a mixed rule. Two, is that if you're the household that doesn't take off their shoes, you think that taking off your shoes before going into someone's house is nasty. And I always thought the reverse is like walking into someone's house with your shoes on is nasty. But you thinking, because what Americans are thinking, or the people who don't have that rule, they're thinking that why would I want to smell your feet, as you're walking into my house. And so that's what's funny. And then the last thing, in talking about this idea of culture and deviance, is that how is a house supposed to smell? Now look, if you start going around to other people's houses, just go to different people's culture houses, right? It's like, look, I was used to hanging out with black folks. I was used to how their house smelled. I was obviously with my Japanese mom. I was used to how her house smelled. But when I would go over to, let's say, my white friend's house, their house, I don't know what the smell was. I just know that it was different and it was hitting me very differently than how I was used to. Along with my Filipino brothers and sisters out there, along with my Mexican brothers and sisters, I don't know what it was, but their house smelled, and I would have called it that it stank. However, I know when they come over to my house that they would think that my house stank also. And so that's just a little something about how your culture can help you define what deviance is.